All right, guys, we ready to go?
Yeah.
Flat tire in 3, 2, 1. All right, moving on. Today we got the read step. Someone remind me what the read step is. It's pretty easy. Just say it. Yep, go ahead. Yes, you're exactly right. Okay, so if you'll open up your folders, you see that you have a new passage. It's the one that we talked about yesterday, but this time you have the words. All right, make sure you have a pencil ready.
I have a pencil.
Everybody has a copy, right? Somebody said no? Bobby, you don't have one in there? Can you what? Oh, I know, it's fine. Okay. Get your new passage out and your pencil. We're going to mark it up like we did last week. And you got to see me do it for you last week, and we kind of walked through it together. So this week, if you have any comments or any underlining you want to do, throw it out there. Raise your hand, and you are more than welcome to contribute to marking it up. I'm going to walk through it with you again, but if you think I missed something or you want to make a note, that's absolutely fine. This is yours that I want you to be able to do whatever you want to help you understand this passage. Sound good? Sound good? Okay. So, let's see. Number 8. Read me my first little paragraph we got going on there.
That's Brandon.
You are so lucky, said Paul. I can't believe we got one of the special invitations to the grand opening of Disneyland.
What? No.
So what? Opening day of what? Disneyland. I think that's a little bit important, don't you think? If the name of the passage is opening day, and we learn here in this first little section that it's the opening day of Disneyland. So I'm going to underline grand opening of Disneyland. The wheel of numbers. Well, because then you can't see what I'm doing. Okay, we'll do that next. We'll do that next time. Good idea. All right. Also, I made it to the wheel of names. It's going to be a surprise, but I gave it away. Okay. Let's see. Julian, how about you go? Since you had such a brilliant idea. Read our next little section.
I only got a special invite because my dad was at the studio. Greg is cool. I'll write all the lines and tell you which one's the best.
I got a special invitation because my dad works at the studio. I didn't mark anything in this section just because I didn't think there was any part, like any main event that happened in this section. They didn't use any of our vocabulary words. I didn't have a question. If you want to add something in that section, that's totally fine. I'm just letting you know what I did. All right, let's see. Sophia, how about you go next? Read that next little part right here.
Maybe I'll see you on TV.
Good job. I didn't put any comments there. Anybody have anything they want to add in that section? No? Okay. Amy, how about you go next? Read this little part right here.
Today's one of the cool stuff at Greg's house. And I got 10 was a string of questions. How was Disneyland? What was the best ride? What did you eat? What did you see? What was Disney before?
Okay, so I did see something that I wanted to underline in this section. I saw something that was kind of funny, maybe not a way that I would talk, but something that I thought was interesting. When it says right here, attacked him with a string of questions. Attacked him with a string of questions. What does that mean? Whitney?
It means he asked a lot of questions.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Did he actually attack him?
No.
No, he didn't. So do you know what figure of speech that is? Have we talked about figures of speech in here? You have?
Figurative language.
Yeah, figurative language. What is it when they're exaggerating something a lot? He didn't actually attack him, so what's that called?
Figurative language.
What'd you say? Okay. I heard some great figurative language, and I did hear, Abraham, did you say simile? That one's gonna come up here in a little bit. So this is called a hyperbole. Say that word.
Hyperbole.
That's when it's dramatic. He didn't actually attack him with questions, but Greg might have thought a little bit like, whoa, like, you know, that's a lot of questions that you're hitting me with right there. So that's just something. So I drew a little arrow and I wrote hyperbole. Just so I could know, okay, wait a minute. I don't think he actually attacked him with a string of questions. Bobby, did you write this? I think he was just hitting him with a lot of questions. Henry, did you have a question? Did you want to read? Okay, perfect. Henry's going to read our next section once everybody gets that written down. Just so I can make a little note. I don't think he was actually attacked.
From where?
Hmm?
From where I'm gonna read?
I would put your paper underneath for you to.
Okay.
So it can help them.
You good to go? Henry, you want to read these two right here?
Greg Brown. It was a nightmare. Whose eyes grew wide. What? Why?
Great job. I like the way he said, ugh. Ugh. That's how you spell ugh. Do you want to read? Junior? Okay, you can go next. All right, so we learned that he went to Disneyland, and y'all know how much I love Disneyland. So if I went to Disneyland and I came back from a trip and I was like, you guys, I went to Disneyland. Ugh. That's odd to me. I would be very excited about going to Disneyland. Would you be excited about going to Disneyland? I think I would. So he said, ugh, what a nightmare. That makes me go, because I'm like, why on earth would going to Disneyland be a nightmare? So I just underlined this, and I'm going to put a question mark. Why? Why was that a nightmare? Because it's Disneyland. It's supposed to be the happiest place on earth. Why is it a nightmare? All right, Junior. You want to tackle the big one? Okay, go for it.
First of all, we were stuck on the freeway for 2 hours before we even got to Disneyland. Once we finally arrived, we discovered that the park was packed with people. Someone told my dad that only 11,000 special invitation tickets were issued, but 28,000 people got into the park. Can you believe that some folks made counterfeit tickets to get into the park, even though they weren't invited? Needless to say, they ran out of food before we even arrived. Greg explained.
Oh no. So that's why he said, ugh. Because this day was a nightmare. I'm going to go through and I'm going to underline the reasons that it was a nightmare. So, first, stuck on the freeway for 2 hours. Not what I want to do on my Disneyland day. Definitely not. Then, only 11,000 special invitation tickets were issued, but 28,000 people got into the park. So they only invited 11,000, that's still a lot of people, but they only invited 11,000 people, but somehow 28,000 people got in. That's a bummer. And because that many people got in, they ran out of food. One of my favorite things about Disneyland, Disney World, food. Love it. And if they have no food, I would go, ugh. Oh, did someone see one of our vocabulary words in this paragraph? Junior saw it. What was it?
Counterfeit.
Ah, there it is, counterfeit. And what does that mean? There it is. Do you remember?
Like copying something.
Uh-huh. Copying something? Yep. Yeah, with the intention of deceit. Do you remember we talked about deceit? When you're trying to trick someone? So if someone made counterfeit tickets, what does that mean? Ah, fake tickets. So they saw what the real tickets looked like, and then they made fake ones, and that's how 28,000 people got in. 28,000 tricky people. Then I thought, okay, wait a minute. This story's about the opening day of Disneyland, and it made me wonder if that actually happened. So I wrote that over here in the corner. I said, did this actually happen? Spoiler alert, it did. Did you want to read it, Mama? Is that why you were raising your hand?
But yeah, sure.
Okay. Go ahead and do both of these.
Okay. Oh no, said Paul.
Wait a minute. Do you think Paul said, oh no? How do you think Paul actually said it?
Oh no.
No, let me hear Molly.
Oh no.
There you go. Try again.
Oh no, said Paul.
Much better.
Just wait, it gets way worse. Greg continued. Did you know how scorching hot it was yesterday? Well, the drinking fountains weren't working, and there were no drinks to buy. My mouth was so dry as a desert, and there was nothing I could do about it.
Tell us, Jasmine. She saw it and she went, what'd you see?
A vocabulary word.
Which one?
Scorching.
Yes, ma'am. Circle scorching. So what was scorching?
Really.
Uh-huh. Yeah, you're right, it means that it's hot, but what was scorching? What was so hot?
Really.
The day, yeah, you're right. The sun, yes, the sun is scorching. Okay, wait, I found another thing that made his day such a nightmare. What is it? Uh-huh. Yes. Drinking fountains weren't working. All right, what is this right here? Abraham, you said it earlier. Yes. My mouth was as dry as a desert. I'm going to write simile right there because that's a simile. Because he's comparing his mouth to a desert using the word as. My mouth is dry as a desert. All right. We got any volunteers? We're going to need to pick another reader. Okay, Jose.
Who's the name?
Hmm?
The name.
The wheel of names?
Yeah.
We'll do that tomorrow. All right, Jose, can you tackle both of those?
Yeah.
Okay. Be sure you're following along on your page or on the screen. All right, Jose, go ahead.
Did you at least get to go on some fun rides? Asked Paul. No, there was a gas leak in Fantasyland, and that caused all the rides in the Adventureland, Fantasyland, and Frontierland to be closed for the afternoon. So we decided to take a ride on the Mark Twain riverboat, but they let too many people get on the boat. The boat ended up falling off its track and sinking into the mud because it was too heavy. When it finally got fixed, everyone rushed to the exit and the boat tipped into the water. We had to wade through the water to get back on dry land.
That's tragic. That is tragic. Abraham?
The vocabulary word.
Where? Ah, wade. What does wade mean?
Walker.
Uh-huh. Walking through, I don't remember the exact definition that I said. It was like difficult. Yeah.
Like it was like
it was difficult to walk in. So I guess, remember my question was, are they wading through a crowd? But they weren't wading through a crowd. What were they wading through? Water, you're exactly right. Okay, now, I didn't write this. I marked up my page before marking it up with you guys to make sure I didn't miss anything. And I didn't write this on my original copy that I did, but when he was reading that, something kind of made me giggle. There was a gas leak in Fantasyland.
Ooh.
This Fantasyland, there's magic and princesses and everything is perfect, and there was a gas leak. Like, I think that's kind of ironic. Do you know the word ironic? Yeah, like irony. So I'm just gonna add ha. That's an A. Ha. I just thought that was kind of funny. And that'll help me remember when I'm going back through my passage. Ha. That's right, there was a gas leak in Fantasyland. That is also something that made his day a nightmare, right? So I'm gonna underline it too. Gas leak in Fantasyland. What's something else we should underline in this section? Oh, yep. What boat thing? You're right. The boat ended up falling off its track. That is tough. And then down here, I also underlined the boat tipped into the water. And wading through the water. That would make it kind of a nightmare too, if you want to underline that part. Yeah, that's true. All the rides in Adventureland, Fantasyland, and Frontierland closing. That's not good. That whole paragraph could probably be underlined. We're just gonna leave it to some, so you can remember the most important parts. All right, who wants to finish us off? Wyatt, go ahead.
Will you ever go back as pro? Definitely, said Greg. Once they get all kinks worked out, I think it'll be the great place to visit.
Okay. So he had a terrible day in Disneyland. But what?
He would go
Ah, he would go back. So I wrote that. I said Greg isn't giving up on Disneyland. You see it? Yeah. I think a lot of people would say that place was terrible. I had to wade through the water. All the rides got shut down. No food, no water. I'm never going back. But Greg said, I'll give him another chance. All right, I'll give people a minute to finish up. Then let me get one brave soul to summarize our story for us. Junior and Jose are willing to do it. I've already heard from y'all today. Can I hear from someone that I haven't heard from? If not, I'll come back to you. What if I told you that the person that summarized it would get our SQ3R brag tag? Does that change your mind? No. Did y'all get it all? Did you see all of it? Huh? Summarize the passage. Summarize is like tell a brief version. Huh?
No one's willing to do it except for them to use the wheel.
Junior and Jose, are those my only takers?
Use the wheel.
What?
The wheel.
Use the wheel. I can't use the wheel because then it takes away what's on the screen.
Use that.
No, I want them to volunteer. I don't want to have to pick someone. Julian's raising his hand. Dario? No? Whitney? Sophia? Okay, Lee. I haven't heard from you today. You're gonna do it? No? Dario? Dario, I have faith in you. All right, Junior. Junior's arm's about to fall off. Go ahead. Summarize it for us.
Alright, so Paul was,
Greg was the one that went. Yes.
Alright, so Greg got a ticket for Disneyland.
Mhm.
And Paul told him to tell him everything that was good whenever that he came back. So
Did Junior say that Greg got a ticket because his dad worked at the station? Was that a key detail that you had to know to be able to understand the story?
Yeah.
No, it wasn't. Did Junior say, did Junior say that his mouth was as dry as a desert? Is that a key detail that you had to know to be able to understand the story? He included that he got tickets to Disneyland. Paul said, come back, tell me what happened. He went to Disneyland. He told just a couple of things that went bad. He didn't list every single one. He just said a couple. He went back, he told Paul. Then he said, I'll go back when they get everything fixed. Did he leave anything out? I don't think he did. I think that was a great summary, Junior. Great job. All right, you guys all did a really great job today. I'm very impressed. Thank you so much for participating in discussion. Go ahead and put, yes ma'am? Anyway. Hold on a second. Go ahead and put your passage back in your folders and then put them in one pile on your desk and I'll come pick them up. Oh, you did tell me that. No, not both. Yes. Thank you.
I'm gonna turn off your recording, Ms. Bond.
Yes.